Book 4 of the Demonata. Read by Lorraine Pilkington. Beginning. Screams in the dark. Mother pushes, and after a long fight I slip out of her body onto a bed of blood-soaked grass. I cry from the shock of cold air as I take my first breath. Mother laughs weakly, picks me up, holds me tight and feeds me. I drink hungrily, lips fastened to her breast, my tiny hands and feet shivering madly. Rain pelts us, washing blood from my wrinkled, warm skin. Once I'm clean, Mother shields me as best she can. She's weary, but she can't rest, must move on. Kissing my forehead, she sighs and struggles to her feet, stumbles through the rain, tripping often and falling, but protecting me always. Bamba never believed I could remember my birth. She said it was impossible, even for a powerful priestess or druid. She thought I was imagining it. But I wasn't. I remember it perfectly, like everything in my life. Coming into this world roughly in the wilderness, my mother alone and exhausted, clinging to her as she pushed on through the rain, over unfamiliar land, singing to me, trying to keep me warm. My thoughts were a jumble. I experienced the world in bewildering fragments and flashes, but even in my newborn state of confusion, I could sense my mother's desperation. Her fear was infectious, and though I was too young to truly know terror, I felt it in my heart and trembled. After endless pain-filled hours, she collapsed at the gate of a ringed wooden fort, the rath where I live now. She didn't have the strength to call for help, so she lay there in the water and mud, holding my head up, smiling at me while I scowled and burped. She kissed me one last time, then clutched me to her breast. I drank greedily until the milk stopped. Then, still hungry, I wailed for more. In the damp, gloomy dawn, Gaul heard me and investigated. The old warrior found me struggling feebly, crying in the arms of my cold, stiff, lifeless mother. "If you remember so much, you must remember what she called you," Bamba often teased me. Surely she named her little girl. But if she did give me a name, she never said it aloud. I don't know her name either, or why she died alone in such miserable distress far from home. I can remember everything of my own life, but I know nothing of hers. Where I came from or who I really am, those are mysteries I don't think I'll ever solve. I often retreat into my early memories, seeking joy in the past, trying to forget the horrors of the present. I go right back to my first day here, Gaul carrying me into the rath and joking about the big rat he'd found, the debate over whether I should be left to die outside with my mother or accepted as one of the clan. Bamba testing me, telling them I was a child of magic, that she'd rear me to be a priestess. Some of the men were against that, suspicious of me, but Bamba said they'd bring a curse down on the rath if they drove me away. In the end, she got her way, like she usually did. Growing up in Bamba's tiny hut, everybody else in the rath shares living quarters, but a priestess is always given a place of her own. Lying on the warm grass floor, drinking goat's milk which Bamba squeezed through a piece of cloth, staring at a world which was sometimes light, sometimes dark, hearing sounds when the big people moved their lips, but not sure what the noises meant, not understanding the words, crawling, then walking, growing in body and mind, learning more every day, fitting words together to talk, screeching happily when I got them right, realizing I had a name, Beck. It means little one. It's what Gaul called me when he first found me. I was proud of the name. It was the only thing I owned, something nobody could ever take from me. As I grew up, Bamba trained me, teaching me the ways of magic. I was a fast learner, since I could remember the words of every spell Bamba taught me. Of course, there's more to magic than spells. A priestess needs to soak up the power of the world around her, to draw strength from the land, the wind, the animals and trees. I wasn't so good at that. I doubted I'd ever make a really strong priestess, but Bamba said I'd improve in time if I worked hard. I discovered early on that I'd never fit in. The other children were wary of the priestess's apprentice. Their mothers warned them not to hurt me in case I turned their eyes into runny pools or their teeth into tiny squares of mud. I was sad that I couldn't be one of them. I asked Bamba where I came from, if there was a place I could go where I'd be more welcome. "Priestesses are welcome nowhere," she answered plainly. "Folk are pleased to have us close so they can call on us when the crops fail or a woman can't get round with child, but they never truly trust us. They don't take us into their confidence unless they have to. Better get used to it, little one. This is our life." The life wasn't so bad. There was always plenty of food for a priestess, from people eager to win her favour and avoid a nasty curse. And there was respect. And gifts when I made spells work. People wondered how powerful I'd become, and what I could do to make the wrath stronger. Bamba often laughed about that. She said people were always either too suspicious or expected too much. A few treated me normally, like Gol of the One Eye, chief of the Wrath once, now just an aging warrior. He didn't care that I was a stranger, from no known background, studying to be a priestess. I was simply a little girl to him. He even spoilt me sometimes, since in a way he felt like my father, as he was the one who found and named me. He often played with me, put me up on his broad shoulders and gave me rides around the Wrath, grunting like a pig, while others laughed or sneered. All the children loved Gol. He was a fierce warrior who'd killed many men in battle, but he was still a child secretly in his heart. Those were the best days, dreaming of the magic I'd work when I grew up, harvesting the crops, herding cattle and sheep. I wasn't supposed to do ordinary work, but if a child was lazy and I offered to help, they usually let me. Some even became friends over time. They wouldn't admit it in front of their mothers or fathers, but when nobody was looking, they'd talk to me and include me in their games. Playing, working, learning the ways of magic. Good times. Simple times. Life going on the way it had since the world began, like it was meant to. Then the demons came. Casualties. A boy's screams pierce the silence of the night, and the village explodes into life. Warriors are already racing towards him by the time I whirl from my watching point near the gate. Torches are flung into the darkness. I see Ninian, a year younger than me, new to the watch, a two-headed demon pieced together from the bones and flesh of the dead. Blood. Gol is first on the scene, an old-style warrior. He fights naked, with only a small leather shield, a short sword and axe. He hacks at the demon with his axe, and buries it deep in one of the monster's heads. The demon screeches but doesn't release Ninian. It lashes out at Gol with a fleshless arm and knocks him back, then buries the teeth of its uninjured head in Ninian's throat. The screams stop, with a sickening, choking sound. Khan and 3 other warriors swarm past Gol and attack the demon. It swings Ninian at them like a club, and scythes 2 of them down. Khan and another keep their feet. Khan jabs one of the monster's eyes with his spear. The demon squeals like a banshee. The other warrior, Ina, slides in close, grabs the beast's head and twists, snapping its neck. If you break a human's neck, that person will almost surely die. But demons are made of sturdier stuff. Broken necks just annoy most of them. With one hand the demon grabs the head which Gol shattered with his axe, rips it off and batters Ina with it. She doesn't let go, snaps the neck again, in the opposite direction. It comes loose and she drops it. She pulls a knife from a scabbard strapped to her back and drives it into the rotting bones of the skull. Making a hole, she wrenches the sides apart with her hands, digs in and pulls out